Versatile Mage. Chapter 48. Lightning and Fire. In order to put out the burning flames, the spirit wolf jumped into the middle of the pond outside the cavern. However, for some unknown reason, after the dripping wet spirit wolf climbed out of the pond, its appearance had changed. Its originally green pupils had turned completely scarlet. The spirit wolf's wild nature was very hard to tame. Once it received strong and fierce stimulation, it could easily go mad. On a battlefield, the spirit wolf's madness could be a useful effect. However, to the students, it was a disaster. The scarlet-red pupils were filled with a dreadful, ominous glint. The exceedingly angry spirit wolf's eyes were fixated on Mo Fan. Its killing intent turned into a shivering cold energy as it lunged towards him. Mo Fan's entire body stood motionless. This spirit wolf was far stronger and crueler than he had imagined. Monkey. Mo Fan was barely able to muster up the strength to speak. Zhang Xiaohou also felt this dreadful killing intent as he frantically linked his star path. Before, he was unable to complete his wind star path. Now, he had no choice but to do so. If he failed, Mo Fan would be crushed to death in an instant. A woo! The spirit wolf flew up with its four limbs. Smoke and dust swirled up behind it. This explosive power, the transition time between the spirit wolf's immobility to jumping speed was less than a second. The explosive power was exceedingly dreadful. Brother Fan. Within the border between life and death, Zhang Xiaohou firmly grabbed onto the rigid Mo Fan. A wind trail became Zhang Xiaohou's speed tunnel. He almost stole Mo Fan from between the wolf's jaws in this crucial moment, and continued fleeing toward the inner part of the cavern. The spirit wolf's teeth bit the air with an ear-piercing crunch. As it bit into the empty air, it felt a great humiliation. The dreadful creature once more broke out its astonishing speed as it chased the pair into the cavern. Within the cavern were quite a few people who had fainted. They climbed up with great effort, only to be greeted once more by a mad spirit wolf. These students were promptly all sent flying with their blood splashing everywhere. Run! Run quickly! Quick! Mo Fan looked behind them. He could see that the spirit wolf was a bit faster than Zhang Xiaohou's wind trail, swift travel. I really am trying. Zhang Xiaohou was dripping with sweat and didn't dare to shift his concentration in the slightest. The wind was whistling by his ear. Behind them was a tremendous monster wolf madly pursuing them. Even jumping would only cause them to slow down at this point. Just drop me in the front, run away after that. I will deal with it. Mo Fan found his battlefield before he spoke confidently. How could I do that? I will not drag Brother Fan down. A friend in need is a friend indeed. If he could survive this, then Mo Fan would definitely be moved. The problem was, whether he would still be able to survive or not would depend on this godforsaken cavern. In the deeper part of the cavern was a spacious cave. The ground was ragged, and the top was completely covered in stalactites. This place had no students, and also no place to run. It was a dead end. Zhang Xiaohou had already done his best. His wind trail had already given the two of them enough time to fight for their lives. Now, the spirit wolf had finally caught up to them, and they had no way to escape. Brother Fan, aren't we quite mighty? We baited the spirit wolf all the way here so the others could run away, Zhang Xiaohou suddenly said with a strange calm. Mo Fan's back was leaning against the stone wall as he looked toward the spirit wolf who had already found them. He scolded Xiaohou, smiling, bullshit. Mo Fan, would never do something like that. Careful. As Mo Fan said this, sand and stones spurted out of the spirit wolf's mouth as it swirled up the sharp rocks within the cavern, before sending them flying toward the pair. Zhang Xiaohou was a wind mage. His movement speed was slightly faster. He initially wanted to dodge, but then he noticed that Mo Fan was definitely not fast enough to do so. Clenching his teeth, Zhang Xiaohou shoved Mo Fan behind a large rock. At this point, it was too late for him to evade the cyclone of stones. His body was instantly hit by the sharp rocks, leaving behind numerous injuries. Several eye-grabbing bloody holes appeared. Bastard, you bastard. If something happens to Monkey, I, Mo Fan, will definitely stomp you till you become minced meat. Mo Fan yelled angrily. There wasn't enough time for Mo Fan to check whether Zhang Xiaohe was alive or not. Taking advantage of the time the spirit wolf was recharging, Mo Fan closed his eyes. After he opened them, Mo Fan's pupils were actually filled with densely packed purple lightning. Eyes like lightning, hair like fire. Stars shone from Mo Fan's pupils. After the gorgeous purple stars felt their owner's anger, they unified like never before. They connected into a beautiful, purple path, exceedingly dazzling in the dark cavern. The star path was before him. Mo Fan stood proud. Lightning strike, Python. As he said this, a lightning trace that looked as though it was a great snake appeared around Mo Fan. It represented the anger in Mo Fan's heart. He held his arm up high and gripped his hand. Lightning was crackling out between his fingers. The lightning python turned into a brave and fierce lightning soldier after receiving Mo Fan's command. It whipped out in an explosive tangle of voltage. One after another, the arcs of the lightning python hit the spirit wolf's body. They electrified the spirit wolf's muscles, paralyzing him, and struck its skin so hard it burst apart. Awawawoo. Lightning strike's power was quite a bit stronger than burning bones. This was also one of the few spells that was able to injure the spirit wolf. The spirit wolf's fur had already been charred black. Blood was madly dripping from its muscles and skin. Even if the spirit wolf was in pain, it was still unable to move due to the lightning strike's paralysis. Its pair of scarlet eyes was still completely fixated on Mo Fan. That's right, it was killing intent. This mad summoned beast had already completely turned into a wild magical beast brimming with killing intent. That pair of eyes only had a thirst for killing and disdain for human lives. Fire burst, burning bones. Mo Fan's stars linked once more, his pupils turning from purple to a flaming red. The fire stars connected quickly under his burning eyes. They quickly formed into a star path that was able to draw the magical power from Mo Fan's body. Staring into the spirit wolf's eyes, Mo Fan's heart didn't feel any fear at this moment. What he felt was anger and an unwavering will. The spirit wolf's eyes flashed a trace of contempt for the weak human. It was like it was saying, so what if you use it one more time? Burning bones won't be able to kill me. In the second that my muscles are no longer locked, I will slice you in two. Even though it was exceedingly painful, the spirit wolf was still able to endure the internal combustion from burning bones. The lightning python or the burning bones was still not enough to kill it. Thus, the end result would still be humans ending up as its food. You livestock. Mo Fan could feel the contempt in the spirit wolf's eyes. Look who's going to die. Mo Fan yelled angrily. The fire stars turned into a scorching fireball condensing in his palm. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.